Do you remember No Man's Sky? It's the game that pretty much became the poster child for overpromising and under-delivering.
Will you be able to play with your friends? Yeah.
To be super clear, No Man's Sky is not a multiplayer game.
The chances of two players ever crossing paths in a universe this large is pretty much zero.
Yeah, our streams are exactly lined up. If you go look at my stream, we're looking at the exact same area right now if you don't move.
There are infinitesimal chances of, very, very small chances of you even coming across a place that another player has been to.
Yep, that's the same one.
In fact, whenever a brand new game comes out that lacks content, everyone goes, is this No Man's Sky? There's no question that the game had a pretty rough launch, horrible reviews, all of which were totally justified. It was a massive place to explore, but why? Was always the question. There wasn't too much story, it was all by yourself, it wasn't that interesting, but the game has changed, and that's what I want to talk about today. There's been, first of all, a bunch of updates up until this point since the game launched. They've added base building, they've added planetary vehicles, there have been new game modes, they've added over 30 hours of story gameplay, and then the next update, called Next, what this game has needed all along, and that's multiplayer. This is, after all, a massive sandbox survival game, and having that without other people doesn't really work out so well. There's a lot of sandbox survival games out there, but most of them thrive on the fact that you can play them with and against other people, and now, with Next, you can do it with and against other people. So multiplayer is coming to the game with small teams of friends or strangers in team sizes of up to 4. There'll be no range limits, so you don't gotta worry about wandering too far away from your friend. Not only will it be co-op, but there's gonna be PvP, including multiplayer space battles. You can gather resources together, terraform planets, build bases together, you can race exocraft. There's gonna be character customization, change your suit, your helmet, your species even. The game's also now playable in third person, so now with your beautiful customized character, you can get a nice panoramic view of it, which is pretty good. So multiplayer, that is a pretty huge thing. I mean, frankly, again, that is what this game needed from the start. But there's more in this update. There's been graphical overhauls with the addition of the third person perspective. There's also improved visuals on space and planetary terrain, textures, water, and clouds. More detail has been added to ships, NPCs, and buildings. They've also updated the base building. Now you can build bases anywhere you want with increased complexity and size limits, hundreds of new base parts, and if you ever wanted this to be like a true space trucker fantasy simulation, the game is going to let you assemble and upgrade a fleet of frigates and command them from your massive capital ship. You can send those fleets out on the universe in different missions to do things like gather resources. There's also going to be challenging multiplayer missions that you can activate from your capital ships. This is huge. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say we should forget No Man's Sky was a huge disappointment, because it was, and those reviews will go down in history. But if they could turn this game around, I'm not opposed to giving it I'm all about second chances here. I'm willing to give them a shot. If they could take this game, turn it around, and update this, add this free update, by the way. If they can turn this thing around with a free update, fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, obviously, it's disappointing that it launched the way that it did. They kind of talked about things that weren't in the game.
Peggy 12.
You could encounter other players. The reality is, the likelihood of that is tiny.
It's a bad situation. If the game gets better and it gets to the point where it's actually fun and I want to play with my friends, I'll give it a chance. So No Man's Sky has a chance now to turn itself around. This could be the redemption story. Best of luck to them. This update's going to be out there tomorrow for free. Well, that's when the rubber hits the road. I'm like 100 years old. Who says that? The last time I heard that was actually probably my grandfather. I love you, Pepe, but it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens. I am excited for it, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. No Man's Sky wasn't fun by myself, so is adding a couple more people gonna change that? If I can sit down and play the game for more than 10 minutes without falling asleep, then I'll probably put out a gameplay video and give you guys some of my thoughts after actually getting my hands on it and playing it. So fingers crossed, hope you guys don't screw it up a second time. No Man's Sky Next, coming out soon. We'll see if it's any good. That's it for me today. See ya.